we would like to hear, like I said, the group Unheard has asked us to participate in this town hall. So at this time, and Miss Alexis, if you're here, or someone from your group.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out today. My name is Alexis Hall, and I'm the Director of Correspondence for the Unheard Group. It's really great to see everybody coming out, trying to let their voices be heard, and that's all we set out to do originally, just let everybody have their voices heard and give everybody that opportunity.
Okay, my name is Chelsea Davis, and I'm one of 2 co-directors for the Unheard Movement. Just piggybacking off what Alexis said, we're so thankful that everybody came out tonight. We encourage everybody to speak on the things that they're feeling with the Price College of Business. Thank you again.
My name is Spencer Davis, and I'm the parliamentarian of Unheard. Thank you guys for coming out tonight. We really appreciate seeing everybody's support, and we want to make sure everybody's here tonight.
My name is Naomi Kadira. I'm the other co-director along with Chelsea. Thank you for coming out. Let this be a safe space for you to say anything and everything. This is our chance to change this university, this college specifically, so let your voices be heard.
Brianna Busby, Spanish pre-med major, like everyone else said, just happy that you all are coming out here to hear about change and also try to help us implement the change that we want to see here on campus. Thank you.
Samuel Ryan, Special Projects, and again, thank you everyone.
Hi, I'm Keith Logan, Director of Recruitment in Unheard, and I just want to thank you all for coming out and just really appreciate the thing for allowing this to happen. And I just want you guys to get the input and let the college, Price Business College, hear what you have to say so they can make the change that needs to be done.
I'm Russell Bouye, and I'm one of the graduate advisors for the Unheard Group.
And I'm Brittany Jackson. I'm also a graduate advisor, and we just kind of want to give you guys a backstory on how this organization started and why Price College has responded to what we have done. So we originally wrote a letter to the president and all the VPs and deans of every college, just let them know about these 7 different grievances that we have. Specifically, the 3 that are most pertinent to our conversations tonight are more diverse faculty and staff within each college, supportive programs within each college for these diverse students. So as you mentioned, Lisa Morales, there is a DEP program within the engineering college where they're kind of the standard right now for what we're looking for across campus. And then the last one is the recruitment and retention of diverse students. So the Price College and a few other colleges have responded with town hall meetings such as this one. So we want to make sure everybody, like they said, speak up so they know what you want, so they can go back to those administrators and say, this is what they want, so we can provide those supportive programs that we mentioned. Yeah, and that's it.
The indigenous voice, never heard. I rose from the ashes of rape and genocide. I've swam through the blood of 200,000 suicides. So don't ask me why I'm angry. When I tell you it's time to ride, just step aside. I do this for the ones that have died. And I ain't trying to murder, but I have ambivalent feelings. I'll pin your wig back with an idea of militant healing. Because when I can't escape these racist faces, it's hard to escape these racist faces when I can't escape them. Fueled by slave ships and hatred. I stand against the colonizer. Go ahead, hate me. If you assimilate, you're a victim of modern-day slavery. But I resist like Osceola, Tecumseh and them, manifesting sacred medicine spirits. Yeah, I respect those that in. So go ahead and pledge allegiance to atrocities past. Just step back when I hold this fucking flame to the flag. Listen, I want to talk about real Sooners. Real Sooners don't discriminate. Real Sooners ain't racist. Yes, they are. If we're gonna talk about real Sooners, let's talk about real Sooners. Real Sooners were colonizers. This school, this academic institution was, just like the rest of them, was founded on genocide and slavery. Just like the rest of them. We're inside the belly now, it's true. And we're coming back all the way out. So that's what real Sooners is. I want to get that through because I'm hearing that far too often. And then people, that means something different to us. And you're on our land. So the best thing you can do is listen to us. Reenactment of the land run every time I see a touchdown. That doesn't mean the same thing to me as it does to you. Boomer Sooner, that don't mean the same thing to me. We're talking about racist chants. Let's talk about racist chants. When I hear Boomer Sooner, I think of the cannons going off and taking this land back when we were already given it and moved off our original lands. That's what I think of when I hear it. So we have to at least think about those things when you at least have the indigenous people of this land in your mind when we're talking about opinions or whatever's going on. It's still on Indian bones. We need to remember that. It produces actions such as the Phi Kappa Psi pissing on our teepees in 1994 during Native American War, a week or month. Peed, broke them down. That happened. Yeah, we don't make the news quite as much. There ain't many of us around. You don't see us, but it still affected us the same way. We're seeing now that's why we want to be here. I want to give you a story before I'm out, just before everybody thinks I'm some like militant terrorist. My dad, he told me, some people might have heard this before, I'm sorry for the people earlier at the rally. My dad told me a story when I was younger of a village. And in this village, human beings, two-legged, were becoming missing. And as matrilineal, matriarchal people, our four sacred women got together and they held a meeting of what we were going to do about these things. And a warrior stepped up and he said, let me sacrifice myself for the people. And they eventually allowed him to go, even though many warriors had been killed before this by this beast, this giant. And so the warrior fasted 4 days after sweating and much ceremony. He went up to the cave and allowed the monster to come out and devour him. He knew he couldn't hide. He was too big. He was too strong. So he was devoured. When the monster didn't know that he had a bush bow in his shalosh. He had a knife in his moccasin. He cut his way out of this beast. The beast had to lie there as the warrior, the Chutta warrior, sat there breathing over him. We've been devoured as Indian people. You have to. You're in the acids in there with me. Colonization has devoured us. White, black, I say red because brown is red. And everybody has been devoured by this beast. The thing we need is a tool to cut our way out. I'm pretty much a pessimist when it comes to academia in college. I don't look for freedom on the plantation. That's just me. But I do believe that there's a way to cut our way out of certain situations and colonization. This is what I'm trying for. We are not, the people here represent, I'm going to let my fellow indigenous relatives speak here, but we're Comanche, we're Lakota, we're Shawnee, we're Chutta, we're Chickasaw. We are not others. We're always seen as others when people talk. Black, white, and those other guys. No, where you stand is who we are. We are the land. What you do to the land, you do to us. What's done upon the land is done to us. We believe literally that this is our mother. We are not others. We're the indigenous people of where you stand, Turtle Island. And thank you for finally listening to us. Y'all forgive me.
My name is Ashley McCrae, Lakota Shawnee Leon. My family's from the Pine Ridge Reds, going down. I want to talk a bit about how language is violent. Often, like the video, like that was a very, very, very explicit example of how language is violent. But every day, Indian peoples are sitting in the classroom. We're reading books that are written by colonizers for colonizers. And we really need to, like we're here in an academic space, we need to talk about pedagogy, how the pedagogy of the faculty at each of these colleges is perpetuating violence and harm against their students. especially because they're Native students, they're Black students, they're students of difference. I really challenge, and that's my main complaint. I really challenge all the faculty to sit there and really reflect on the way that their teaching style affects the students in their classroom, especially students who don't have the privilege of being white, straight, male, elite, because that's us.
Hello. My name is Ranch Reactley of Comanche. Just here to say a couple words. Main thing is that trying to find unity on this campus. We're trying, as Native Americans, we're trying to organize again. We see what our Black brothers and sisters are doing with this movement, and we want to be able to be included as well. We feel like there's a sense of unity on this campus the lack of sense of unity on this campus between minority folks, our Hispanic brothers and sisters, our Asian brothers and sisters, and right now what we're trying to do is we're trying to come together. Noticed on these statues this day that there's unheard stickers on the mouths of most of these statues around campus, and it was brought to my attention that most of the Native American statues were left alone. Now this says something to me. This says something to me that we got something that we have a situation that we're hoping that there's respect here, because we definitely have respect for y'all. Thing is that we're coming here, and I guess the thing is that what I'm trying to point out is that how we're connected here. The University of Oklahoma uses the colors red and white. Those mean something. Those aren't by chance. Those stand for skin colors. Now, here at the University of Oklahoma, one of our what the University of Oklahoma is known for is football. And the majority of our players on our football team are Black. So we have a situation here where we got these three racial dynamics going on. We have a connection here. This connection to this land, the history of this land, and our relationships to each other on this land. As my brother pointed out, this land that we're on is filled with molecules of my ancestors. Centuries. Our bones, our flesh has been on this land. So you cannot separate us from this. The thing is that now we're looking at it, we've got to understand our histories as people together. I don't want to stand up here and talk too much, because I want to go ahead and give enough people the time. We've got a long night ahead of us, so I'm handing it over to my sister.
Hello, my name is Kimberly DeJesus. I'll go ahead and give you all my tribes. Comanche, Otoe, Missouri, Pawnee, Iowa, and Sioux. And I'm also Puerto Rican. So, yeah. I'm not really much of a talker, but I had read a comment today, and it really it hurt me in a way. So, there's this comment that has been said that Native Americans have already been compensated, that we shouldn't have a problem anymore. And, we've been compensated with a mule and 40 acres of land. So, that kind of hurt to read that, because, I'm not trying to bring back, what happened to our ancestors, but that doesn't bring back, what trauma they went through. So, reading that just really disturbed me. We're here for y'all, OU Unheard. I'm proud of what y'all did, the movement. But I guess my big thing is, us as a minority, us as Native Americans, we wanted our voices to be heard as well. So, thank you.
And I think it's really important, cross-movement collaboration is really important, because being real, at the end of the day, the issue that we're both being faced with is white supremacy. That goes to the queer community as well. We're all suffering from oppression because of white supremacy and colonization.
At this time, we'll walk around. If you want to put your hand up, if you'd like to make a statement to us. We have Hector in the back.
First off, thank you, Dean Boland, for putting this together and allowing us to voice our opinions. My name is Hector Javier Alanis. I am from Monterrey, Mexico, and I was raised in Texas, and I'm now a Sooner. When I moved to Oklahoma, I didn't know anybody. I didn't have any family, I didn't have any friends, and I just came here. And my time here in the Price College of Business, I have never had a non-white professor. That being said, my race has never, in any shape or form, affected my performance here and the things that I could accomplish through this great college. Dr. Brunstead is one of my professors right now. She's very grateful. I have excelled. I'm a Price College of Business ambassador, so I try to recruit other people to come here. And I tell them how great of a learning environment this is, because it truly is. I'm also part of the IBC group this semester, predominantly white company, and most of them were in fraternities and sororities. And yet somehow, they elected me as their president. Now, we had a couple mishaps in the beginning of the semester, but we've overcome them together in unity. And they have really shown what a diverse group can do. And noted, most of them are white, and most of them are in fraternities. And there are 3 officers that are not white, are not in fraternities, and were still elected into those positions, and not based because of their race or skin color or anything, but because of their actions and their commitment to this university. And I applaud Dean Poland and the staff here at the Price College of Business, because they have truly turned me into a professional. And I know I'm going to excel with all the great learning experiences that I have here. And I just wanted my voice to be heard, because everybody is sharing their opinions. I want to share mine and my wonderful story of how a kid from Mexico somehow ended up in Oklahoma, and I now call Price College of Business my family. Dean Newhouse, Dr. Grunstead, Dean Poland, everybody's there. This morning, I went to Dean Poland's office, just walked in and started talking to him, and he didn't tell me, you don't have an appointment, get out. It was 7 in the morning, I have no idea what he was doing there, but he was there. And he heard my voice, and he's always there for me. If I stop him in the halls, they're always there for me. So I just wanted to say that.
Okay, so I want to begin by asking everybody if they know where the nearest restroom for themselves is. Okay. For me, I'm not sure. The nearest restroom that I am absolutely certain of is inside of Gaylord. The same kind of thinking also applies to the Houston Huffman. I would love to get in shape, but I'm afraid to walk into the shower rooms. And the kinds of thinking that creates this for me is the kinds of thinking that was spread on that bus, and the kinds of thinking that needs to be shaken up. So that's all I have.
And then we'll come back. Did you have an opinion?
Good evening, my name is Raven Morgan. I am Pawnee, Cheyenne, Arapaho, Otoe, and Creek. From what I've read and researched, it actually was SAE who peed on the TP like 20 years ago, which that will be a problem more. Thanks for the word. But I just wanted to kind of touch base on kind of something for everyone to think about. Of course, there are a lot of racial jokes and everything, but before you just try and make your friend laugh or something, really think about what you're saying whenever you're including another race as the basis of your joke. Because it was just yesterday, I was in the library and I was studying for my midterms, and I kind of, you just happen to hear what other people are talking about. And I heard a girl say to her friend at the table over, she was like, oh yeah, well, I'm gonna take Kiowa. It's a lot easier than, Spanish or anything. And she said, ha. And her friend said, oh, what does that mean? She said, it means hello. And her friend goes, ha. And that's not cool. That's not funny. I mean, I'm sure her friend laughed. It sounded like a fake laugh to me, but I don't know. But it's just those little things and those jokes, those are really offensive. And yeah, there's jokes, about Black people, Natives, Asians, Hispanics, all that. But before you say those things, just really think about what you're saying, because this is a diverse college, and you never know who's going to be hearing you, who's going to be listening, who's behind you, who you're sitting next to, even the person you're telling the joke to. They might have that heritage in them. They might be connected in some way. So that was all I have to say. Thank you.
Did we have someone in the back? We have one right here.
My name is Tyran Laws. I don't actually go to the school, but I came here from the city because this was very important to me. I'm an Iraqi war veteran. I was out in Iraq during the initial invasion back in 2003. I even bought a coin with me that I got from General Petraeus while I was out there fighting for our country, risking my life. I was out there. I went out there twice. I was stop loss to go back out there again in 2005. I mean, I've seen so much racism, like injustice, since I've been back here. I've been harassed by police. Even while I was in uniform to go to my field training, I was harassed by police, ticketed. I always had a smile on their face. This is probably the first time I've been back in Norman in maybe 3 years, because to a way, I was just ashamed to come back down here. So I grew up in this town. I graduated from Norman High. And yeah, I was talking to my friend on Facebook, and I was crying while I was talking to him. They were like, well, don't do anything you're gonna regret. I was like, well, society is already denying my humanity, so I can at least come up here and speak no matter what else happens. I'm proud to be from this state. I come here, I get funny looks all the time, and I'm just gonna be honest. People look at me like I'm crazy, people look at my do-rag. They judge me on sight. I don't get a chance anywhere I go. I got PTSD from the war, and I also got PTSD from here. I'm not gonna lie. People need to treat each other like human beings. We're all one human family. We only came from one place. So no matter how you look at it, we're all from the same place. We're all Black, we're all Mexican, we're all every other race. It really doesn't matter. Racism is the dumbest thing I ever heard of. I don't even know why it ever started. We're the only species on this planet that does that. Why? And we're supposed to be superior to animals, right? So why in that way do we act below and eat animals? It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's really all I gotta say.
Tight fit.
Thank you for your comments, and thank you and everyone else for your service in this room. Comment?
Hi, my name is Nadia Haybeck. I'm Cherokee and Osage and Irish and German. You could say that I'm multiracial, right? But I don't look it. And another problem, aside from people being unheard, and I just want to say that I'm so proud of y'all. Y'all have done a fantastic job. Another problem, aside from being unheard, is unseen, right? We have a lot of Native organizations on campus that get very little recognition. I'm actually the president of the Native American sorority. We also have a Native American fraternity and American Indian Science and Engineering Society, and American Indian Student Association, but how many of y'all do that, right? A lot of these issues coming from visibility, and one thing about being visible is your race. Your race is visible, right? Your race isn't defined by you, that's a societal construct. Your heritage and your biology, that's your history, right? But your race isn't something that you choose at all. I think that's interesting because we need to talk about the issue of intracultural racism as well. And I know that Native people aren't the only people that face that. As for the Native community, I can't speak for any other communities, but I'm constantly, even being a leader in the Native community at the university, get questioned about my heritage because of my skin color. I know that, I may not be full-blood, but I know a lot about my community and my culture, and I have a lot of passion about it. And I don't think it's appropriate that I get questioned. My credibility gets questioned. Do you speak your language? Where are you from? Did you grow up on the reservation? I speak some of my language. I do. I'm learning. But it's all a learning process, right? Learning about your culture, learning about your heritage. You learn as you grow. If you stop learning, you stop growing. And I think it's important to realize that just because my skin's lighter, or just because anybody else's skin has any different level of, melanin or whatever, like, that's insane that we judge how much you know about your culture or anything about your character based off of your skin color. Just think about that, Anything, I'm sick of it, honestly. I'm sick of having to prove myself and prove how culturally involved I am. Because, my last boyfriend was half Native. He was Cheyenne and Zia Pueblo. But I'm more culturally involved than him, and I have more knowledge than him, and he'll admit that, even though I look white. Like, you could look at me and think, she's white, but I have Native heritage, and I'm proud of that. And I think that, we shouldn't disregard our heritage. We shouldn't forget about that, right? I mean, it's important to think about your history and your diversity and where you came from, because that's a part of who you are. But I'm tired of mine being erased because of my skin color. So.
Do we have anyone else? Go ahead.
Hello everyone, my name is Celeste Davis. I work in the Diversity Inclusion Office in the College of Engineering, and I spoke with the Dean of the Business College the other day, and what we talked about was the fact that it sucks that this is stuff is happening at OU now, and we have so many different people. Like, we have the scholars, well, there's so many scholars who come here, national merit, athletes, but losing people because of something, when people said, a handful of students said, from a time that was so long ago, it's like, why is that okay? So my thing and my hope for everybody as we're moving forward and talking about race and diversity is that whenever you see it, whenever you hear it, don't be afraid to speak up and say, that is not okay. 2 of my friends today came and told me the things that happened just yesterday, earlier today, in public settings, when people were assessing what happened at the event. Left because they didn't want to say anything because they were so mad. But it's like, you shouldn't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to say, that's wrong. And on top of that, like going back to what she said, we all need to understand our cultures with each other as well as other cultures. Like within our culture groups and outside. If you don't understand, you can't empathize, you can't connect, you can't understand why people do things the way they do it, and you think it's wrong, you judge them, whatever. Take a moment to understand what other people go through, why they practice what they practice, and help teach somebody about your culture as well as learn about theirs.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Maya and I'm a student of Price. I want to talk about this that I have been told a lot of my life, that I sound white, that I act like a white girl. The question is, how does someone sound white? How does someone act white? I think that I sound educated. I think I uphold myself with a certain standard and principles. And I think that, in a sense, by saying that being educated is synonymous with being white, if you can just look around at how many people in this room right now are professors, students of different races, I think that just shows right there that that statement is untrue. So next time someone says this joke to you, to someone next to you, just think about everyone else who's in your class. Think about that. And, you know, I don't know a good way to end this, but how do you end a conversation like this? But just go home and, I guess in a sense, educate yourself about what is being said. It's the little things that also count. Thank you.
She's coming to your right. Your left. All right.
Hi everyone, my name is Erin Groves.
It's funny that this meeting is tonight because I have an accounting internship at Newcastle Casino, and today I was at work and one of my coworkers, she's older, maybe, I don't know, maybe in her 50s, I'm not really sure. She's just not as young as we are, but anyways, nothing against anyone who's in her 50s, that's just, she's not a teenager.
Looking at me.
Anyway, so she was telling a story. She was looking at a young man's ID and she couldn't pronounce his name. And she said, oh, it looks like he's foreign, maybe from Nigeria or Ghana or something. And then she got on the subject of how her brother was married to a lady who they divorced, and then she married someone else who was African American. And she said, yeah, my brother was married to a lady and they got divorced and she married an African American. What a slap in the face. And I am half black, but I may not look it, and I'm pretty sure that no one I work with knows that I'm half black. I'm also Chickasaw, so I could also, I also get mistaken for Hispanic or maybe just full-blood Native. So I knew that they didn't know that I was half black, because if they did, she wouldn't have said that comment. And then so later I called my mom, she's the black one, and I was talking to her about it. And I was like, why would she say something like that? Like, why would she say it's a slap in the face that she she divorced her brother and then married a black man? Why can't it just be she married another man? Why does it have to be, it's because she married a black man? And going off of what Celeste said just a second ago, that my mom asked me if I said anything about it, and I said no, because I didn't want to make it awkward, and I just didn't want to be in that kind of situation. But why should I have to be scared to say something? Why should I have to be scared to make it awkward? Because she just made it awkward for me, because I am half black. And so I let that one comment go, and I was like, okay, whatever, just go back to working. Then she also had a watch on that was turning her skin black. I don't know if she's allergic to it or something, and she's like, every time I wear this watch, it turns my wrist black. And then another coworker was like, oh, you better stop wearing that. We wouldn't want it to turn your whole body black. Just another comment, and I'm sitting there like, okay, they obviously do not know I'm half black. Because I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't make confrontation, but they wouldn't make that situation awkward for me. But my point to this story is, why should anybody of the minority have to be, yes, what happened, this incident on the bus was a tragedy, but what has come out of it, people being hurt, OU unheard, is wonderful, but why should it take something like this for something this positive to come out of it? And why should we have to be scared to speak up or say anything because we don't want to make it awkward? Because everyone else, the society, is making things awkward for us.
So I want to be real here for a minute and talk about the issue of real diversity versus symbolic diversity. This campus is infamous for its investment in symbolic diversity. So let's not kid ourselves, because this is not the first community town hall meeting that we've had. Brittany was there, no, this is not the first time that we've stood up against the oppressions that have been perpetuated by the people in charge of this institution. So this is not an isolated, out of nowhere, oh, you shouldn't be surprised that video happened. There have been several people in this room who have been fighting for real diversity on campus. And I'm really afraid that this is all because of shame, all of the good stuff. I don't want that to be the case again, that we're only moved by shame and only enough to pacify the people who are shaming the administrators. And that's just all I have to say.
Hi, my name is Christella Carazales. I'm an academic advisor here in Price College. I think we can look around the room. Obviously, I'm a brown person, and I too don't speak maybe like what people would assume a brown person would speak like. But I think if we look around the room, it's easy for us to make assumptions about each other's experiences based on ideas, right? But I think in this, we have to remember the nuances of each person's experience. I'm 7th generation Mexican American. I lost my language. My experience growing up in this United States is not the same as a first-generation Mexican American. Your experience as an African American, if you come from a collegiately, taught mother and father, and you have a little bit more, your experience in this world is not necessarily the same as somebody else's. We all have common things that we share. I still have to look at people and go, when they ask me, where is your homeland? And I say, Dallas, Texas, and they say, no, really. But we have to, when we look at each other, conversation is going to take twofold. It's going to take us not railing against that question, because they're asking it not necessarily in being malicious, but because they want to know. And if we say to them, you just shouldn't ask that question is wrong, then they're never going to know anything about me. They're never going to know who I am and what my background is. So if you shun the question because they shouldn't ask it, they're never going to understand the why they shouldn't ask it. Answer the questions. And if you're going to ask the questions, don't make the assumption of the same answer that you're going to get. And if you're going to ask that question, answer politely. Number one, and don't be afraid of the answer. Don't ask it for a joke. If you ask me what my homeland is, and I see that you are sincere, I will tell you Dallas, Texas. No, really, Dallas, Texas. No, I had family fight in the Civil War. Maybe not on the right side, but that's another question. So people, this does take a dialogue, not a diatribe. Answer the questions and ask them with thoughtfulness and answer them with thoughtfulness. It's the only way out of this ugly, ugly hole that we continue to dig ourselves into. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ronnie Blake, and I'm a part of Price as well. I don't know how many people of color here have had the experience of talking about race with a peer who's white, and they say, oh, no, I'm not racist, I'm like totally colorblind. And I think that this kind of regardless of attitude is fundamentally the wrong one to have, and it's something that I was in the Gateway program here at Price, and really phenomenal program. I made many connections that I wouldn't have otherwise made, but in our whatever day or two on diversity, when we talked about it, it was kind of how we can get past it, how we can kind of have this regardless of conversation, and I think that's fundamentally the wrong conversation to have. Having that conversation erases the histories of people and individuals, and if we are trying to educate future leaders of the global economy, then we can't do it regardless of, we have to do it because of.
I just want to remind you guys, as we're giving the microphones to people, that we did hand out cards for those of you that might have come in late. And these are for you to, if you don't feel comfortable asking or giving a comment or asking a question with media around, or you just want to give us some feedback, please use those cards. We have places that you can drop them on your way out. And go ahead, Dean.
Hi, I'm William Mosley. I may not go to school here, but I am from Norman. I graduated from Norman High just like everybody here. And I was thinking, my opinion, I think what the problem is with most people nowadays, people just don't think. They don't. I mean, they just live on foolishness thinking it's like, it's cool or something. But what I gotta say is, people need to think what they're about to say before they say it, and just be cool, you know? Be cool, be respectful to everybody, you know, because I mean, I ain't gonna do nothing to you. Just don't say anything to me, you know, don't bother me, you know, just be cool.
So I just remembered what I was going to say earlier, so bear with me. No, but back to the comment about, that they just got compensated for, 40 acres of land in a field. What he was trying to mean by this, he used that as an example to say that, blacks had suffered worse. And, you know, it shouldn't be that way. We shouldn't feel that way, you know, like we're not competing for which race went through the worst times. Because I could tell you, like, a history of what natives went through. And, you know, I mean, we each could do that for each of our races. So, I mean, we're not here to compete within our minorities. We're here to end one thing, which is mutual agreement of racism. So I just wanted to express that, you know, we're not here to compete against each other. We're here to be here for each other.
Hi, I'm Caroline Shepard. What the academic advisor said about responding to questions, I think really struck me. I'm German, Swedish, Norwegian, and Native American, but unfortunately my ancestors never registered on the rolls, and I don't associate with that part of the family anymore, so I don't know what tribe I'm from. So I am slightly multicultural. My family came to visit me the other day, and they asked me a question that at first really, really angered me, but I had to respond to it in a way that I think it made me really proud. They asked me, most of my friends are, they're Arabs, because I live on the international floor. And with all of the unrest that's happened lately in the Middle East, there's been a lot of uncertainty with my family, unfortunately, because they're not so educated on what's been going on politically. So my family asked me, so this ISIS thing, do you think they're a good thing, or do you think they should be stopped? Now that hurt me personally, because why would I think ISIS is a good thing? But I told them that I know what you're saying just comes from a place of ignorance and fear. And I had to respond to that. It took me some time, and I thought of how to respond to it, and I had to respond to it in that certain way. And I knew that my family was only asking me this because I have been hanging out with Arabs. And that really, really hurt me, because my friends are amazing people that come from a diverse background and a wonderfully rich culture that I've come to appreciate so much. And my second point that I'd like to make is that OU has just been awarded the Davis Cup, which comes from Shelby Davis, the founder of United World College. So OU has been making great strides in attracting international students, which is one thing that OU has been working really hard to do. So that's just what I'd like to say.
Hello, I'm Kobe Brown. I'm a senior here in Price College of Business, and I have the honor of representing the college in multiple ways. I'm an ambassador, as well as Hector kind of mentioned earlier. I'm also a part of the business fraternity with Maya and several other brothers I see in here. And really, OU has been one of the best experiences of my life. I'm one of 11, and I'll be the first one to graduate college in my family. And I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight, really, and trying to show, you know, the empathy and trying to understand and get to know each other better. To kind of answer Maya's question, like, how do you, you know, end a conversation like that? The answer is you don't. You know, we need this on a regular basis. You know. Yeah, it's time to start being proactive and not reactive, you know, and I'm proud of Price for taking that stance, because like we mentioned earlier, this was already kind of pre-planned before several other events take place. But my challenge is not to Price, or it's not to the University of Oklahoma. My challenge is to all of us right here, right now. If it is to be, it's up to me, and it's up to you, and it's up to us to come together. And if we want to unite and become more culturally diverse and get to know one another, then it's going to take us getting out of our comfort zones and reaching out to other organizations that we normally might not reach out to. You know, it's going to take getting to understand a different race that we might not understand. You know, it's going to take asking those tough questions, but you also is going to take, you know, being able to listen and actually try to understand the answers. So, like I said, my challenge today is really for us to kind of take a stand and unite together. Let's not let this be like a one-night kind of thing, and then let's call it a day. You know, I'd love to receive an invitation from the Native American tribe, from the fraternities, from different sororities. Let's start supporting each other within the college, and let's be the example that we want everybody else to set.
Hi, my name is Melissa Roses. I'm a junior here. So I came from a high school where I was friends with people of all types of cultures, all types of races. And when, I'm sorry, I'm really emotional, so if I start crying, I'm sorry. And so when I got to this campus, I was super excited because I saw all types of faces. And I quickly noticed that a lot of people like to segregate, like they like to gravitate more towards their own type of people. So for me, that was really hard because I didn't know, like, who do I go to? Who do I try to talk to? I mean, I was friends with all these types of people, and now I come to this environment where I don't know who to approach or how to approach them. So I just want to say that after 3 years of being on this university, I never felt more proud or accepted than I do tonight.
Hi everyone, my name is Naomi Kadira. I'm in the Price College of Business. I'm an accounting major, and I just wanted to kind of turn around back to this college. I love the dialogue that's going on and this dialogue about how we all need to be accepting of each other, but for me, this is my home. Price is my home where I'm supposed to have the support that I need. And I just want to take this moment to thank Delanisha here, because before I spoke to her, I was lost. I'm a first generation student. I didn't know where to go. I was being passed around in the advising office. No one understood my situation. And having her, a face that I could relate to, a face that understood my situation and where I came from, that did a lot for me. So I want to turn it back on you, whomever, I don't know who's going to answer this question. What actions are you taking? What are you doing from this moment? We said we're going to raise the bar in Price College. How are we going to do that? And I also want to share that I went through the Integrated Business Core program this last semester. I was one of 2 Black people. It was just like, where are my peers? Why aren't they coming to receive it? It's an exceptional program. Why aren't they getting this opportunity? So I want to pose that question. What are we doing?
And so it's a great question. And I asked that same question almost 2 years ago when I had the great opportunity to come and serve my home college. I'm a graduate of Price College myself as dean. And I'm proud to say that very quickly we put together a faculty-led diversity committee, and we charged that committee, and there's a faculty member from every academic division in this college that's represented, and then some of our staff leaders are on that committee. And they have, over the next few months, put together a comprehensive plan for us to execute once capitalized, once funded, that's going to address some of those core issues. How do we ensure a diverse pool of applicants for incoming faculty? How do we reach out to high schools and beyond, even middle schools, and try to not only reach and recruit a diverse pool of prospective students, but how do we yield them? It doesn't matter if you recruit a diverse pool of applicants. It only matters if you yield them. Right? They got to come here. And so we're working real hard to do that. And we're going to do that with time. We're going to do that with talent. And unfortunately, we have to do that with treasure. Right? There's the financial side of this. And with public funding for higher education in our state and many other states on the decline, it makes it challenging to add new initiatives. But you know what? Sometimes you have to make tough capital allocation decisions. Sometimes you have to cast a vision and connect that with people, sometimes outside of this university, who can embrace that vision and can capitalize it and share that vision with you and give you the fuel to match the spirit that's here tonight. And so I'm working hard, our fundraising department's working hard, our staff is working hard to capitalize that and make that plan a reality. But I can assure you it is a top priority of the College of Business, because I want more people to find a home the way you found your home.